that you are well. My name is Bella and welcome to my channel. So this is your love horoscope reading for May 2018. If you're there, do you say hey, hi, hello? I'm still getting used to how this all works live. I'll find out in a minute how my videos all turned out. So if you're there, sorry, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm a psychic and that's how I do my readings. So I do it based on what my spirit guides tell me, but in a clairvoyant, clairsentient kind of way, and I will go through things generally. So for those of you who've watched me regularly, you know what I'm talking about. So I crack on with it. If you'd like to know more about me and my services, or join me on my Facebook page, the links are just down below. But let's get into your reading, shall we, in terms of the energies that are and will be at play for you during this month. Okay, guys. There's a couple of things because my guides are in a very, very singing mood today. So the first thing they're saying is we don't talk anymore, which I think I haven't put in the title of this video, but that's basically the song they're singing. I won't sing it for you, but the one that's we don't talk anymore like we used to do, that one, that's coming up in relation to you and another person. So this will be the current relationship you're in, or this is of X that perhaps you want to have back, because they're saying here we don't talk anymore like we used to do, and there's something about you wanting to reclaim that in your relationship. There's something different, something that is strained. There is a distance that is between you and somebody else, whether you're with them or not. There is, there's this push-pull basically. Now the other song they were singing to me, which is really interesting as well, so there's two songs. The other one was Madonna's Vogue, but specifically the strike a pose part of it, because they're saying here there is an element, I don't know, the symbolism around that is about you kind of being needing to almost, when you think about a pose, it's like being a statue, it's like putting an act on a little bit, and they're saying here that you have to put on this persona because you cannot let the other party know that this is affecting you. There's something stoic that you have to be in this situation where things are different between you and the other person, or you are not talking. Now, normally, I would be advising that you should be trying to get communication. I think that's not the problem. I think you're communicated out, Capricorns. I think you've tried talking and telling and maybe shouting, and it's not been working. So now they're saying here, you need to strike a pose. You need to be a bit nonchalant. You need to not engage. You need to disengage. You need to be indifferent in order to get the person to talk to you. So an example would be if you've got an ex that just you'd like to reconnect with, and you've been talking, but it's just not the same, and you're trying and trying and trying, don't try anymore. In fact, be aloof and indifferent. One may even want to use the word be bitchy about it. Don't do what you've been doing. Strike a pose. My guys are saying here, be a statue until they thaw you, and not the other way around. There's a feeling of you trying too hard, Capricorns. The other thing I have to say, which is slightly offbeat from this, they're saying some Capricorns particularly want to have a child. Or if you don't want to have a child, if you're female or even male, it doesn't really actually matter. If you're not wanting a child, you are particularly fertile in this first week, highly. Okay, I know it's very random, but it's coming in incredibly strong. For those of you who want babies, this is a green light. You're incredibly fertile this week. They are showing me images that I don't want to see in terms of things swimming where they need to be. If you do not want to be pregnant, take precaution basically, because a highly fertile week for that to happen. Now, just to get back on track, that was a bit of a side note. In order to be able to talk like you used to do, it's recommended that you become indifferent and to strike a pose. They're saying here that sorry, my guides are saying here because the other person is being a little bit like a baby, and oh god, they're saying here it's a bit like you need to give them a timeout. You need to not pay attention to it. You need to not reward basically the negative behaviour. You know how children can be. If they want your attention, they sometimes will play up because some attention is better than no attention. However, if you want them to behave in a certain way that is good, then sometimes you can't you can't reward the negative, basically. So that's what they're saying, because the other person's energy is a little bit like, they literally are showing it like this, like the other person is, please help me, you know, please do this for me, please, like they're coming across as helpless. Helpless. And it's irritating, like I was saying, for you, but also it's not solving what it is you want and you need in order to feel comfortable in this relationship. They're saying some resentment is building up between you and another person also too. Again, whether this is a current relationship or an ex relationship, like you want it, but it's wearing on you. Couple of things in the second week. It doesn't terribly improve, because the person's behaviour, it's almost like they won't notice at first that you're striking a pose, basically. They will be busy trying to improve themselves, which is not a bad thing. So there's work improvements around them. They are personally trying to develop themselves. But also get here, there's a lot of like, I don't want to say partying, but I guess partying would be one thing that's just your partner might be doing, or doing a lot of social stuff. They're doing a lot of things that I can only liken as me orientated and not us orientated. It is all about them and not about we. Now, if you're estranged from that person, so if they're an ex, then that might be, again, their way of trying to cope or try to block out what's going on, so that they don't have to deal with it. But deal with it they will, because what will happen, even though they don't notice it straight away, they will notice that the attention has been taken away and that the communication has gone from you, and that you are striking a pose, that you have gone distant on them. By the third week, it could be sooner, guys, they start to sell their ship towards you. They start to want to come back, cap in brow, or try to, it's very gingerly, come back forward to you in a way that is relieves their stress about it, because it feels like once they notice it, they become highly stressed about it. It's different to them. So particularly if you're looking at a situation where there's the next person and you've stopped giving them your attention, and this means social media, everything as well, that they will do a U-turn, because actually they're not being rewarded in the way that they was, and it means that they will have to behave differently in order to get to hold on to the relationship with you. Because my guides are saying here, for you, this new way of you being is your last attempt at trying to resolve the situation, because you're tired, my guides are saying here, of trying to control this unwieldy child. That's difficult, basically. But just like any children, I have to say, we all learn, don't we, in the end? And it does feel to me that your indifference and your non-rewarding of negative behaviour will absolutely work 100%. Okay, stop rewarding and become distant. Make it a bit like the mini show for you. They will want to temper the waters. They will want to make sure that both of you are not living in your minds with the stress of what is happening, which then leads me back to the first of how I started this, which is around, we don't talk anymore. You have to talk, but you also have to talk where you're both on the same page, and that will only happen by what's been created, basically. And also the energy by that time is also very favourable. Remember, Capricorns, you have Saturn in your sign, which means sometimes it has a good way of bringing you the things that you want, but there's always a lesson in it. Sometimes it comes with hard work, and that will involve even your relationships, that sometimes in order to get the best out of it, that it does involve hard work being done. Your hard work is to stand back and bite your lip, basically, and their hard work will be to turn this around, because it has meaning for them. All I can also say to you is, if you are waiting for somebody and you're hoping to get back in a relationship and they do not come back and step forward in this month, it is highly unlikely that they will. So you do also need to know that if they show up in this month, text this month, say hi in this month, then it is game on, all right? That's the most important thing to also say to you. As you get to the end of the month, it's really interesting, because not only do you start to talk clearly and well, this person seems to really want to be vulnerable with you. They seem to, even if you've known them 10 years, they seem to really share with you their vulnerabilities, how you mean to them. I get proposals, I get, you know, commitments, I get a lot about people coming back. You know, this is about real change from people and about the emotional effect it's had on them and how they've grown up, basically. And they make a promise, but it feels like there is a token. There's something that comes with it that's quite tangible in terms of their offering towards you. This can only be a big good thing. So I want to say here that even though you had to strike a pose, and even though it felt like you were drifting so far apart that actually you need to catch a coach and go to another place, it gets salvaged. It gets salvaged quite well. So you go from not talking so much like you used to probably talking more than you better had. It feels like this month should see any conflicts, particularly key to communication, it sees it resolved, basically, once and for all. So it's kind of worth it. It's kind of worth this last attempt from you to be different, to be probably counterintuitive in how you'd like to respond, because how you have been has not been working now, has it? Hi Oli, can you be you? How are you? So I do hope that that's been helpful for you all today as we conclude this, but the message is to be stoic, to be indifferent, to get what you want out of this. Hi Tony. Oh, it's you. Yes, I know you. Hope you're well, lovely lady. So I'm going to end there. Think about that, but do know that it ends the way not ends the way that you want, but it ends with a lot of perhaps of the cycles of communication or frustrations that you had with somebody. It ends quite well. In the end, you win, because if you didn't, you would have walked, is how it's been shown. So I hope that's been helpful, lovely people, and I will see you next month with your love horoscope for June. Take care. Bye.